Hi friends, and welcome back to another lesson with me. Today we're going to be focusing on punctuation, okay? And what that basically means is these are things that are being put into sentences to help us say sentences. It's easy to communicate with people verbally where they can hear us because we're able to express ourselves appropriately. So if I'm angry, I'm going to say, "No, you're making me angry." And you can hear in my tone that I'm angry. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, you can tell I'm having a conversation by me having a conversation. Whereas when we are writing things down, it's not always as easy to get across what is actually happening. Whether it's direct conversation, anger that's being expressed, sadness, if we are listing a whole bunch of things, we need to find a way to do that while writing it down. So it comes across exactly the same way as when we're actually speaking and verbally expressing ourselves. And that's where punctuation marks come in. They really help us with expressing ourselves in written tense. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick recap over a few punctuation marks that we've been learning over the years, and we're going to do an exercise where we're going to insert those punctuation marks in the right areas. Are you ready? Awesome. Let's get started. So first we have inverted commas, right? So inverted commas is an indication that there is a conversation going on. And as you can see, there's two different types. It's the open and it's the close. So this is the beginning of your conversation and the end of your conversation. This is direct speech. So if I'm having a conversation with you right now, the minute I stop speaking, and let's say this is a book, they can be like, Ashley said, inverted commas, I need you guys to pay attention to me, close inverted commas, said Ashley. Or we can start with Ashley said and end with the full stop. So what the inverted commas do is they show us that this is a live conversation taking place, that somebody said something. It's direct speech. So whenever somebody says something in a book, in a poem, or even in a sentence, you're gonna find it phrased with inverted commas, opened and closed. As you can see here, this is what they look like. Awesome. And remember, direct speech. So when you see inverted commas, you think conversation, direct speech. Awesome. Question mark, asking something. So without question mark, we've done this over the years. There's question words that go with it. What, how, when, where, why, how come. Basically, those are your question words, right? And with these question words, they imply or indicate that we are asking something. You cannot have a question word and make it a statement unless it's something completely different. So wherever you see a question mark for now, that is an indication that somebody's asking you something. Where are my keys? When are you coming home? How are you coming home? What were you doing? Why were you doing what you were doing? These are all question words that are followed by question marks. Why? Because somebody is asking something. Awesome. Let's go on to our exclamation mark. So an exclamation mark is used to show strong emotions, okay? So when you are excited or you have anger or you're surprised, these are all things that are followed by exclamation marks. We did types of sentences. So this would be a statement. Close your book. Right? That's a command. But the way I've said it, with anger, with a strong emotion, means it needs an exclamation mark so that we can read it that way. Versus if I just say close your book, that'll end with a full stop because there's no strong emotion attached to it. But the minute my tone changes, you add an exclamation mark. So for somebody reading it, they are aware that there is a strong emotion that has to follow with that sentence that they are reading. Awesome. Then we have a comma. So a comma is basically used when we list long lists of things. So if you go to the grocery store and you listing things, apples, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, cheese, potatoes, All those things in between them, we're gonna have commas because you need a pause. How we read sentences is very straightforward. Use words like yes, no. We read a sentence pretty quickly, and the commas just help us take a deep pause to indicate that, okay, I'm about to either list a bunch of things or my sentence is gonna continue, which means it's going to be longer. But that's not the only time that we use commas. You see, commas can be used for words like yes, no, and well when followed by a complete sentence. So if we have yes, no, or well that's followed by a sentence, then we also have a comma there. And there's one more that's missing, which is a full stop. And this is used for statements. Full stop, actually comma, and at the end of a sentence. So this is used at the end of sentences and at the end of statements. So if I'm like, okay, the sky is blue, you're not going to put a comma there, you're not going to put a question mark there, you're not going to put an exclamation mark there. What you are going to put is a full stop because I am telling you something. It is a statement. Therefore, the statement needs to be closed and ended with a full stop. A full stop also helps us indicate the end of a sentence in a paragraph. Can you imagine a whole bunch of sentences together without any form of a break or a pause? It doesn't make sense, right? You need to know when a sentence starts and ends because the end of a sentence could mean the end of a topic, right? Awesome. With that being said, let's get into a quick activity where we just rehash all of these and yeah. Awesome. So I have a few sentences over here where we're just going to apply what I've just spoken about, our inverted commas, our question marks, exclamation marks, full stops, and commas, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fit in these punctuation marks where they belong based off of the information that I gave you previously, okay? Awesome, let's get started. So our first sentence is, number 1, run to the store, said Ashley. Run to the store, said Ashley. What do you think is missing here? First things first, our first clue. The mere fact that there is, okay, let me change the color I'm using. This ink is dripping. So, the mere fact that they said means this is direct speech. And what does direct speech get? Inverted commas. So we're gonna add these here. And run to the store is where it ends. Store is where it ends. Why? How do we know that? Because it said Ashley. Versus if it says Ashley said, and then open inverted commas, run to the store, full stop. But because this is not the end of the sentence, we're gonna put a comma to show that there is continuation after run to the store. Said Ashley, and it's a command, statement, command. So we're gonna put a full stop because there's no emotion, strong emotion, and there is no question being asked. Awesome. Number 2, no, you are not going anywhere. No, you are not going anywhere. What punctuation marks do you think is missing in here? So, we can do it one of two ways. We can either say no with a lot of emotion, you are not going anywhere with a full stop at the end. Or we can switch it up and say no, comma, you're not going anywhere, full stop. So both end with a full stop. The only difference is how we say no. So either one with an exclamation mark, it would be no, you are not going anywhere. Or it can be no, you're not going anywhere. Okay? Comma versus exclamation mark. How you say it is what differs to which punctuation mark we are using. That comes back to when I was telling you guys that punctuation marks really do help us in expressing ourselves on paper. Okay? Awesome. Well, for me in this case, on board. Number 3. Where are my shoes? Let's say that again. Where are my shoes? First thing we're going to do is we're going to underline where, because it's our question word, which makes this a what. What punctuation mark do you think belongs at the end of the sentence? That's right, a question mark. Last 2, grass is green and apples are also green. So, what punctuation mark do you think belongs here? First of all, we can clearly see that there is a combination of 2 different sentences merely by our and before our and comes a comma. Grass is green and apples are also green. This is telling us something. It is a statement, so we're going to end it with a full stop. Last one, guys, then we're done. My top is white. Let's say number 5 again. My top is white. We're going to end this with a full stop. Why? Because you are telling us something. I am telling you that my top is white. It is a clear as day statement, which means it is followed by a full stop. I am not listing things. I am not excited, surprised, or angry, or asking a question. So it is a full stop. Awesome, guys. You guys have done so good. I really do hope that this lesson helped you with punctuation marks. See you again next time.